Josh Mansell here from MMA Today News, bringing you guys another interview. Today I'm speaking with Brandon Davis, who grabbed himself a UFC contract after a third round slugfest with Austin Arnett on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series number 4. Brandon is set to take on Kyle Bochniak at UFC 220. What's up, Brandon?
Oh, not much, man. Just getting done training, getting some stuff done around the apartment, and then heading back up to the gym here in a little bit.
Sounds good. So you were on the Dana White's Contender Series number 4, where you obviously grabbed yourself a contract. You displayed an excellent performance against Austin Arnett. Can you talk to me about the process of how you ended up on the show? Did they get in touch with you, or?
Yeah, they got in touch with me through my coach and manager, Alan Belcher. Of course, they know him pretty well. Him and Sean Shelby are pretty good friends. He fought in the UFC for a long time. I want to say he had 13 fights in the UFC or something like that. And I had just come off a big win with a guy that was 5-0 and had another win that I won in the first round by TKO. And then we were pretty sure they were going to be hitting us up. So I started getting ready for that before I even knew I actually had the fight. And they offered me Austin Arnett. And my coach, Alan, was like, look up this guy and see if you want to take the fight with him. I'm like, I don't care who it is. We're not turning down the fight. We're taking the fight.
Of course.
And then he's like, man, just watch him and let me know. I said, all right, I can watch him, but I'm going to tell you yes no matter what. So we ended up taking him. He was 17-2 and tough striker for sure, and really tough. Had a good record. Came to fight, but whenever I get in there, I mean, I don't plan on losing.
Of course not. And what was the pressure like knowing that you were fighting in front of the UFC president Dana White and Sean Shelby?
Honestly, I didn't feel any pressure. I don't know. I just go in there and have a good time. If I don't win, I don't win.
Yeah.
It's rare, but I don't put any pressure on myself. I just go out there, and I know that I have a style that people like to watch. I go in there, and I'm going to stand with you. I mean, if we go to the ground, we go to the ground. I'm pretty good on the ground too. I'm a 4-stripe purple belt. But I know that's not what everybody wants to see, and I like to stand and trade with you. See if you can hit me. I'm going to be using a lot of angles, throwing elbows. I throw so many different techniques and throw so many different strikes and combinations that it's hard for you to kind of see what's coming. I try to make everything look the same. So I'm going to throw something, see how you react, and I'm going to move on, throw something else, have you looking at a bunch of other stuff, and then I'm going to come back later on what I threw before, and wherever I saw the opening at, I'm going to come and I'm going to attack that the next time. So whenever I do that, I don't know. I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. I just go in there and know that I have to. I mean, I'm pretty much trying to outsmart you, but I'm trying to put on a good fight too, a show. So there was no pressure. It was cool being right there in front of Sean Shelby and Dana White and McMahon. It was really
Yeah,
cool, though.
I bet, man. And it's like I said earlier, you take on Kyle Bochniak on the 20th of January in Kyle's hometown. With him having the hometown advantage, do you have any extra nerves coming into this one?
Any extra what? Oh, nerves? No.
Nerves, yeah.
No, I actually, whenever I first found out about it, I told my coach, I was like, man, this is actually what I want. I want to go to some hostile territory, and I want them. It'll be cool for an early fight, and there's not that many people there, but I want there to be us to be on like FS1, which I know is going to be my first fight in the UFC. So I don't know if I'll make FS1 or if I'll be on Fight Pass. But if I'm on Fight Pass, I'm hoping I'm towards the end of the Fight Pass because I want there to be a good crowd there. I want to hear all the boos. I want to hear all of it. I want to see how bad it can be and just embrace that. And that's what I thrive on. I love hearing that. I mean, I fought so many times where I'm in my opponent's hometown and all I'm hearing is boos. I mean, I love that. So I want to see how bad it could be and then go in there, try to get the win, and then tell everybody. I mean, that's how you should do. You should root 100% for your hometown guy, and that's what I want to hear. And then after that, I hope I can earn some fans from that.
And what are your thoughts on Bochniak as an opponent?
Oh, he's tough for sure. He's like me. He'll go to the ground if you want to. He's gonna shoot some takedowns, but that's not his main priority. He's not just gonna. That's not what he's shooting for the whole time. He's not aiming to just take you down. He likes to stand in there and give it like he gets it as well. He has a good, strong right hand and a good right leg kick. But I don't see him throwing enough variety, but that doesn't mean he's not good, and he doesn't mean he can't catch me with something. Like I said, he has that strong right hand, but he's going to have to change some things up because I'm coming in there. And like I said, I throw elbows, knees, punches, kicks. I throw it all, and I change it up as much as I can. So unless you're doing the same, it's going to be hard for you to just get me.
You've been in the promotion for a while now. What was the hold up in getting that first fight booked?
I don't know. You tell me. I told them I was ready to fight.
I wish I could.
Right after. I mean, I was on my coach every day, on my manager, Alan. I was like, man, I remember they had a fight probably 3 weeks or a month after my fight in Russia, and there's a beat guy, I can't remember his last name. I had posted like a couple of days before. I said, if somebody backs out of this card, you know who's ready to go in there and put on the show. And whenever his guy Nick Hine or Helm, whatever, backed out, I screenshotted it and I posted on Twitter and tagged Dana and Sean Shelby, and tagged Alan, and I got him to send it to Sean Shelby. And he's like, no, not right now. We got something working on for Brandon to work on, so waiting on Brandon. So it kind of made me wait a little bit. I don't know why, but I was ready to fight then. So I'm hoping after this fight they can get me on real quick. I like to fight as often as I can, at least every couple of months, 3 months at the most.
And I see you've got that. You've actually got the Contender Series jumper on there, the red one. I like that.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. I guess we have like a cold front coming through right now, so it was like 35 degrees this morning.
That's cool. I like that. And what's the MMA scene like over in Mississippi?
The whole state, we actually have a lot of good people in the state that I
Of
trained
course,
with
yeah.
before I got down here to Biloxi, where Alan and everybody is. So I trained at No Limit Jiu-Jitsu for a long time. We have like 4 black belts up there in Jiu-Jitsu. The striking is good, but it's not as good as what it is down here. So I eventually moved down here. My buddy Tyler Hill, he's 6-1. His only losses in Bellator against a guy that was 12-1. He had moved down here like a year and a half before I did, and he'd been trying to get me to move down, and I was like, oh man, I had a good job. I was working in the health field. I was a regional manager for a pulmonary company, so I'd go through different clinics and hospitals and make sure that everything was going all right with the patients and my people that were under me. And I was making good money, so I was like, I'm not going to go down there. And then eventually, he's like, after I beat a guy that used to be in Bellator, he was 8-2. His name was Thomas Vasquez, and I won a unanimous decision on him and cut him up with elbows and everything. It wasn't really close. He was like, man, I'm telling you, if you move down here, I think you can make it. I just don't see you making it out of this gym. And I think I still could have made it out there. Just would have been a longer route. Having Al in my corner actually helps because he knows Sean Shelby and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I decided to move down, quit my job, start teaching classes over here, making way less money, and but having a lot better training as far as I could train whenever I wanted to instead of having to go to work for 8 hours. I could train all day if I wanted to, other than when I teach my 1 hour class here and there. So it gave me a lot more time to train. I had a lot higher level of people. We have a lot of black belts down here as well, a lot of good strikers as well. And
is Jason Knight down there too?
Yeah, Jason Knight, Chase Sherman.
Yes.
We're the 3. Yeah, Chase is fighting this weekend in Shanghai. Jason's fighting December 9th in Fresno, and I'm
of course, yeah.
Yeah, so tonight I'm going to train too, but my training's mostly going to be getting him ready for his guy. I'm his striking coach, so I tell him I'm going to show him he's fighting Gabriel Benitez, what all he's going to do and how he needs to move and what he needs to be looking for. So we've been working on that. So tonight I'm going to the other gym and working with him on that.
Yeah, I actually spoke to Jason Knight. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. We spoke about you as well. Yeah, he's cool, Jason. He's a cool guy.
Oh yeah, I love that dude. Super cool. We play pranks on each other so much, and he's like a brother. Like I said, I've only lived down here for like a year and a half, but me and him are super tight, and we're perfect training partners. We're the same size. He has really good ground. I feel like I have really good stand up, so we counter each other. And he has good stand up, and I have good ground, but we help each other off of that because we both have a lot of different techniques that we use.
Yeah. What would your thoughts be on having a card come to Mississippi?
Oh man, I don't know where they'd do that. I mean, I'm all about Mississippi fighters making it because we have some good fighters. But as far as us bringing enough talent, I mean, not enough talent, but enough people around.
Yeah.
Uh, we have big arenas, but I just don't know if we could bring in a big enough crowd. I would say just come to New Orleans again. I mean, we're literally an hour and 15 minutes away from New Orleans. Everybody would come that way anyway. So New Orleans, go to the Superdome and let us bang it out there.
And last question: do you have any goals just yet set for the UFC?
Oh yeah, of course. Of course I want to be the champ. Who doesn't? If you're not trying to be the champ, then I guess you're just trying to make a little bit of money and say you're in the UFC, but that's not my goal. I want to have 3 fights. I say this year, as 2018 at least 3 fights if I can. Win all 3 of those, of course. Get at least 2 finishes, and that way. And each time, I don't want them giving me people that are still at the back of the line. Each time, they need to give me a better person, a better opponent. That way, I can climb the ranks. Because within 2 or 3 years, I hope to be fighting for the title if I can keep winning and doing everything like that. So if I can get on, like I said, fight 3 times this year, get 2 finishes, and like I said, my fight style, I can get finishes and I can get fight of the night. Every one of my pro fights have got fight of the night except for one when I choked a guy out in 40 seconds. So of course they didn't give me fight of the night for that.
Wow.
I have that style, so hopefully making some bonuses too. But give me a couple of finishes. Then next year, go into the same thing, win 3 more, and get a couple of finishes, and that'd be a 6 fights winning streak in the UFC, and put me in the top 10 for sure. So that's kind of my goal right now.
Sounds good, man. And I honestly can't wait to see you make your promotional debut with the UFC. That's all I've got time for. Well, that's all the question I've got. I mean, is there anything you want to drop? Any Twitters, Instagram handles, any of that business?
Yeah, my Twitter is Brandon Davis UFC. My Instagram is Brandon Davis UFC. And I guess if you want to get on Snapchat, uh, Brandon Davis 18 is my name, or Brandon Davis MMA. I'm not really positive on that. But man, I appreciate you having me on, and I hope everybody watches the fight or comes out to the fight. And I promise you, I'm going to put on a show. That's the only way I know how to fight.
There we go. Brandon Davis making promises here. Brandon, it's been great, man. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers, bud.